us, but it's happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamfleur, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Grand uprising, my people. Grand uprising, grand uprising. Hope everyone is doing fantabulous and continue to shade under the golden branches of the Creator's love and care. Let me jump in right here. Folks, do you need permission from anyone to take care of your health? Do you need permission? Ask yourself that question. Got some things going on this morning. Kylos, if you have the time, you can put up the topic in which I want to talk about this morning, and go quick to my status and check it out, and you'll see. And this the topic this morning is basically the illusion that's surrounding diabetes and the reasons that surround diabetes, and the continued pumping narrative of why we are told there isn't a cure. I'm going to talk about that this morning, ladies and gentlemen, because one of my very, very close friends, he is a doctor, very profound one, which I will never call his name. I would not put him in disrepute. I wouldn't put him on this spot here. But this is a man who believes in me, and I believe in him as well. We very straightforward with one another. He's a man that's extremely straightforward. He knows who he is. I'm sure he probably somewhere listening. I love and respect him a lot. And he asked me again to go over the diabetes thing this morning. I think because a few people that are close to him as well that continue to suffer. And this is the problem here. The problem here is that we put our trust in people who believe that they know what they're doing, when the underpinning of this fraternity is basically money. Again, let me put up my disclaimer. I love my nurses and doctors, and I will defend them to death. However, the fraternity in which they're housed under, that I won't defend because of the inconsistencies and based on things that I see. Now, again, with the continued treatment of that particular fraternity, which is the allopathic reductionistic medicine, there's only one outcome. The only outcome is to shift you from one medication to the next, change your MG or your MCG, or put you on a totally different medication, period. And then the outcome would be, as it pertains to diabetes, the outcome will be a toe get chopped off one by one, piece of foot get chopped off. Eventually you get your leg amputated either underneath your knee or close up to your groin. And if you want to deny that, then hear what it is. I urge anyone, again my disclaimer, Mr. Johnson, do not claim at no point in time to know everything. Mr. Johnson, don't claim to heal nothing. Mr. Johnson, understand the synergistic effects of herbs that comes from our ancestral genome and how I can apply it to optimize the body's structure and function to go to war for you. That is what Mr. Johnson is good at, and I know how to do that. Put the body in a good state of homeostasis in vitro. It changes the environment in which these pathologies wants to house themselves. Once the environment is changed, the pathology just die off. Simple. So let me add to this once more. These are my preamble this morning. Let me just say this once again. I don't claim to know everything, and that makes me an intelligent guy. I'm just letting you know that straight up. Okay? I am not a doctor. You can call me. The word doctor in Latin means docere, which is translated into teacher. I would embrace that one all day long. Call me teacher. I will embrace that. I'm a fitness expert. That's where I start this journey, and I became a self-proclaimed, I put in that say because you can't take that away from me. That's my inalienable, unalienable rights, self-proclaimed herbalist practitioner. I know how to do it well. And not because I grab onto a particular subject means I know everything. It means that I know what I'm talking about with the subjects. Again, so let me add to this. If anyone thinks I'm wrong, come and counter my narrative. I am prepared for that. whatever I'm going to disseminate this morning as it pertains to diabetes, and there are going to be strands of other things that will support my empirical evidence. You think you can shift that? I welcome the debate all day long. I would prefer a debate on TV, and you all know why I would prefer debate on television, but I welcome that debate. You know why? Because I can be shifted. I'm not absolute in my thinking. The people who are absolute in their thinking, those are the people I would like to have a debate with. But if that can happen, and there's a shift that can take place, then all of us will have a philosophical conversation where we can learn from each other. And that's the seat I sit on. I want to learn. And I ask the Creator all day long, every day, lead me to the people who I need and the people who need me. With that said, good morning again, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, my Fort people. Good morning, everyone. Booba, I will check you. I have some things for you, my brother. You don't worry yourself. Sit tight. I got your message. I send you back a message. I ain't get no response from you, and I know you've been calling and stuff like that. Just the timing was a little bit off. But your brother got you in mind, all right, bro? All right. So blessed morning again to everybody. Panella, good morning. Panella, good morning to all my folks. Good morning to the police department. I'm seeing some good things going on in our country. The Guevara effect, and that is what I'm calling it, the Guevara effect. I think he's doing a good job. I just think that's just me. I got faith in that man. I was reading something very recently. Hey, I just letting you guys know, this is my little part to put my little punch in. I'm not doing no political stuff. This is my health program. But if I can say something that is going to uplift my country and for me to continue to show the appreciation for my country, I'm going to do so. And I have no problem doing it unapologetically. I think Mr. Guevara will make a big difference and a great dentation in the lives of this country and the lives of our police officers and them, because they need help. They need, it's 24-hour stress and whatever. I see some shake-up going on. Not everybody's going to be happy with that. And let me just say this one time. Once you're at the helm of a particular organization, or you're managing some particular area of business / whatever it is, an agency, and everybody like you ain't doing no good job. Let's just get that straight. You're not doing a good job. You're on the nepotism curve, and that's eventually it's going to crash. Everybody going to crash. I think he's doing a good job. Not everybody's going to like what he's doing. I'm just saying that he'll do a good job. Mr. Alexander, I love the comment you made the other day. I hear a comment with there's no cohesiveness. Man, I support you 100%, and I think you're saying that because of your experience. Pal, do your thing, brother. You got my support. We need a shift in this country. It's my country. I love it to death. Another thing, too much leaks in the road. Or let's fix up the road, please. Please, it have people who can handle that. All right. Having said that, good morning again. Police department, good morning to you. The fire department, blessed morning. My Coast Guard people, blessed morning to your regiment, good morning. And good morning to my cousin, Scrappy, who would have been retired from the regiment at a very high position. Scrappy boy, good morning to you all. Good morning to Mrs. Spencer. Good morning, my dear. How are you this morning? And Ms. Gettins, good morning. Ms. Gettins, how are you? Good morning to Nell, and good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me roll on to all the people who listen to me outside in the United States, in California, Alabama, and all those people. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Dr. Nurse. Good morning, blessed morning. Let me get into this. Again, if you so desire and you need to make a contribution to the program, please, you can give me a call at 342, that's in the studio, 342-0081, 342-0081, and 466-5391, 466-5391. Let me give you those numbers again, 466-5391, 342-0081. Let's talk about the illusion of inclusion. Let's talk about why our fraternity or the world believe that diabetes has no cure. Now, let's just face the fact. There aren't any incentive, none, absolutely no incentive under this fraternity to cure nothing. Let us get that straight and rest that down and be realistic about it, right? There isn't any incentive to cure anything. I would have told you guys last week, having the expression of a symptom is a clinical picture. When you go there, it's not a diagnose, it's a clinical picture. A diagnose is a mechanism. That mechanism has a process. So to go to doctors and they say, well, you are diagnosed with something that is an expression of a symptoms is a misnomer and it's misleading. And I stand by that. So let's discuss this now. Why are there so many narratives about diabetes and why there is no cure for diabetes? Well, let's start here. There is $160 billion a year industry that links to diabetes. So if all you, and I say this again, all you out there who rest your belief and hinge your belief in thinking that they care about us and they're going to have a board meeting somewhere to have a cure, you lack a dangerous viewpoint of knowledge, because that ain't going to happen no time, ever. The underpinning of that and the incentive is money. And if the incentive is money, cure cannot be a part of that. Let's be real. Let us be real. So for you folks, and I say this again unapologetically, who are diagnosed with being a type 2 diabetic and you continue to go and take metformin, glybride, glucophage, diamicon, and the list goes on, because they're starting to make up all kind of different names, again, not only that you dangerously lack a viewpoint of knowledge, but you are afraid to face your own mortality. All of us are on a hypoxic curve in this life, all of us. And when I say we are on a hypoxic curve, this is what I mean. All are we going on dead? And the last state of death is hypoxia, a lack of oxygen to the brain. You lost consciousness and you ride out. Consciousness resides somewhere. That's a topic for another time. If you want, you can look up what consciousness means and all that kind of stuff. And if you believe in a life after death, me and here to discuss that. Here what I'm here to discuss. We are on a hypoxic curve and all of us has to ride out. But when you are implicit and complicit in your own mortality, something is very, very wrong with that picture. And that means, I'm not saying that you are to be blamed 100%. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there are culpability that you need to embrace, which is you need to watch the food you eat, how you eat, if you're going to eat in a fat state. Thank you, Carlos. And the list goes on and on. So that's where your culpability comes in. So, ladies and gentlemen, right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, let me continue on my journey this morning. And I hope when I get off the air, again, like I always say, I hope that whatever information that I disseminate here, if one person get it, just one, my hour on the air will be worth it. Let us discuss this very, very serious now. There are a lot of people out there who are diabetic that still believe they would never be cured from this pathology. Let me use the three words that they don't like. Reverse diabetes, cure diabetes, or remission of diabetes. You can put it however you want, but all three are not only possible, but very probable. And here is how. We are first told that we inherit this particular disease from our parents. Folks, listen to me very carefully here. This is empirical evidence. This is years and years of research, not only from just Mr. Johnson, but the expert who understand how this works. And for you, let me just say this too before I go forward. In the month of August alone, I got 7 people off reverse the diabetes completely. Completely. Well, don't talk about this here, because every time I get it, I make a note of these people. And there are a few people, when I'm ready to do whatever thing, I would go and have my people doing some, what is called that, testimonies and stuff like that. I will have that going on. I'm not really interested in that for now, because watch me, money don't drive me with this here. Let me just say this again, and the people who come to my office know this. I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by bringing people to good health, to a place where the health profile is where it is. If I do that, I will get paid. Some of you studying money. The money is not the issue for me. I enjoy what I do and I know I'm on purpose with my life. Again, let me just say this. I found it through pain. But braids, I enjoy what I'm doing. I don't feel I work a day in my life. When I hit a rock stone, I don't see it as any challenge. I see it as an opportunity for me to learn. And I'm willing to do that all day long. So we have this narrative that diabetes is hereditary. Well, here's the deal. What does that really mean? What they are trying to say to you, again, let me just say this. My nurses and doctor, me love ayo. Me love up ayo. Okay? You get me wrong here. I'm just talking about the fraternity. The John D. Rockefellers, how it was started. The Carnegies, how it was started. You know, Ansel Keys and all the men who add to this and add to our misery now, I have a problem with. And this is what I'm talking about. So my empirical evidence that links to what I'm saying here is what I need you to come and shift. I challenge anybody. Come and shift my narrative. I am willing, because I could take the buffer and I could take the wood if parents. Well, let's discuss that. What you inherit, ladies and gentlemen, is a meta-lesion genes. It's totally different than a genetic genes. And these things been pumping in our heads that a lot of the disease and pathologies that we walk around with every day is that they will inherit. And we believe that. We believe that. And that is not the truth. Very, very few diseases are linked genetically. Like I said before, things like beta thalassemia and stuff like that. These are things that is genetics. It's in your blood. You're born with it. If you inherit something, it means you're born with it. You're born with it. For instance, like type 2 diabetes, the beta cell cannot produce insulin. So you have a problem there. And even that start developing. And if you understand how to control glucagon, I'm not going to get into that. You don't even need to take insulin. It's just about we're not disciplined enough to go down that road. We really are not disciplined enough. So that creates a lot of problem for us. So let's discuss this particular stuff here now. Metabolic diseases and why. Because it's not only the diabetes that destroy us. It's the other things that come with us. The damaging of the endothelial cells and all that stuff, and why we suffer tremendously. High blood pressure, low testosterone, impotence, polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, and the list goes on. All that is linked to what I'm talking about here this morning, which is insulin. So let's go. Let me slowly walk you through this. We inherit a methylation genes from our parents, which means what we inherit is our body's ability or inability to refine. And therein lies the problem. To refine, let me repeat, therein lies the problem. A particular substrate in raw materials that will stop the body from expressing itself in a chronic way. Meaning, if there is an essential nutrient missing from your body, it's going to develop chronically. That missing raw material is what's going to cause you to have a particular disease. Now, let me just say this again. For many of you, when I say therein lies the problem, why I say this. We don't believe we are made from food. We don't believe that the 3 to 40 trillion cells in our body, every single one is made from food. We don't believe that. And that's where the problem is. So we find salvation in a vaccine or pharmaceutical drugs. Let me just say this again. Thank God for antibiotics. Thank God for lidocaine. Thank God for penicillin. Which means I'm not against it. Okay? Is the long-term use thereof. So understand that, because we need, in this life, we all need each other. Is the belief system, the illusion of inclusion to tell people diabetes has no cure, have them on medication, and eventually their foot chop off, toe chop off, and then they ride out with their body dismembered while they live and die a very slow, miserable agony, a life of agony. This could never, ever be right. So we inherit these genes. Again, herein lies the problem, because we don't believe we're made from food. We don't believe that. But the day that belief becomes a part of us, and the word belief, spell it B-E-L-I-E-V-E. Okay, so leave out the two first words, the two first letters, and the two last letters, and tell me what you get there. That is why we have problems. Process that for a little bit. Let that land. So my thing is, when we don't take that substrate in, it expresses itself chronically. And that is where the problem lies, because we can't fathom it. We can't wrap it around our head. So the question is, ladies and gentlemen, all of you out there, the next time, let me repeat myself for the 100th time, and I would never stop doing this, because one day it's going to land. One day. We are creature of selective and short memory. And Trinidad and Tobago, no disrespect, we oscillate between dormant and explosive. We just oscillate that way. We're supposed to stay quiet for things we stay quiet when we're supposed to make noise, and then the opposite. I wish we can change that, because when we change that, a lot of our apparatus and thinking will change collectively, and then we'll understand the power of togetherness rather than being apart, which is what they want, so that they can control us very easily. That's another detail and argument for another time or discussion. So the next time your doctor say to you, well, this diabetes thing you inherited from your parents, let me repeat it again for the 100th time. Simply ask your doctor. The entire human genome has been mapped. Can you tell me, please, what gene did I inherit from my parents, and what chromosome it resides on? Here, what I guarantee you going to happen. Come out of my office, don't question me, because there's no answer to that question. The next question you can ask is, if I inherit this from my parents, this is inherent genes, why do people with all these genes don't die out? Why diabetes increasing exponentially every single year by the hundreds and thousands? Why? I didn't born with it. I meet age problems. Ask that question. Why the genes? Isn't there a statement by Darwin that says survival for the fittest? That's what it means. When you see wolves and lions and stuff hanging out, the weak one, they start to beat it and kill it because they don't want it to keep back the pack. It may seem gruesome to us, but it's the way it is. It's survival for the fittest. So let me go on. The next one. Why a twin that comes from the same mom and dad? Process this. Process this for a bit. A twin that comes from the same mom and dad. One developed diabetes and one doesn't. I think that alone should have you in a corner where you are prepared to rethink your position. Because you see, I don't have a problem with people wanting to hold on to their belief. You have a right to do so. You have a right to express yourself however you chose to express yourself. Understand there are consequences towards those things, but you have the right to do that. My problem with you is when you become absolute in your dogmatic thinking, and then because of that type of mindset, you want to tell me that's how I should be. That is where the problem come in. That's where the problem come in. So now, the other part to this, because the entire human genome has been mapped. So the other part of this is this. Here where you come in. Folks, if you stop eating foods out of boxes, the food out of boxes are processed foods. The food manufacturer company don't care nothing about us. They care about shelf lives. Shelf life answer equal money. The moolah. Follow the moolah. That's what they care about. Process what I'm saying here. And don't be afraid to call in. And if you think you can give me a hard punch, let's do that. I can take it and we can discuss. Okay? If you continue to eat food out of box, make in a factory, it has a barcode on it. You hear what I'm telling you? It processed. It ain't good to eat, and that raises your insulin level. Now here's the problem. Because we live in a glucose-centric society, which is where the money lies, we go in and die. Bit by bit, piece by piece because of that belief system. And that's why the narrative been pumping. And from their perspective, their presupposition is that they are correct. Because I just told you what a symptom is. It's a clinical picture. How you think you're going to cure people from a symptoms? How and when that going to happen? Then you make the symptom the diagnosis of the person problem. Come on, people, come on. Come on, man, think for yourself a little bit. Now, don't you see how you feel? You're on these things for 10, 15 years. They ain't not going to happen. Come on, please, wake up a little bit now, man. So here it is. We go for these highly processed food, which raises our insulin. Again, remember I just told you, we are very glucose-centric, which means what they will tell you, we go to the doctor, they will do a GTT, a glucose tolerance test. They will do a A1C hemoglobin test. Not one single fraternity, and I can guarantee you that in Trinidad and Tobago, does an insulin test. They don't care about your insulin. Nobody does. Your insulin is your problem. The body resists the very thing that is there to help you. No, I am not telling you. High glucose blood sugar, right? I'm not telling you that hyperglycemia is not dangerous. That is not what I'm saying to you. I want you to listen to me carefully. And for those of you who drive in a car, I am not telling you that when your car starts overheating isn't dangerous. It's how long you think you can drive your car while it overheats that becomes dangerous. But here's the other part in you and your lacks of not paying attention. Let me find out first what is causing my car to overheat. So, what causing my car to overheat is my problem. Not how long I drive it, because that comes down to straight you don't care. That's just nonsensical, a bunch of nonsense which you just not paying attention. It's what causes it to overheat. Well, what causes hypoglycemia in diabetics? Insulin. Insulin resistance. How does it happen? All right. Insulin is a very tiny hormone that emerges from the beta cells from in the pancreas. It emerges there when we eat. Anything we eat, we releases glucose and glucagon in the bloodstream. Let me repeat that. Everything that we eat, this small intelligent hormone called insulin emerges from the beta cell. And I keep telling people, I don't know, I read all kind of paper, I'm not sure the mechanism of action and how that happened. I tell you guys what to do already. Call 1-800-GOD. See if you can get an answer, because not everything I need to understand and not everything that I care to understand. That's the truth. And the truth and the fact is, that will help me to be a wiser human being. What do I need to understand everything for? Me don't even understand who make me and how that happened. I just know there are certain things I need to do to sustain my homeostasis in vitro so that I can have a better life. I only need to know that my fragmented psyche needs to be re-challenges all the time. There are many things I need to relearn so I can talk to people better, so I myself can be happy with myself. That I need to understand. But me, I need to understand who made me and how that come in. Me ain't going through all that. What I need to know is that I can thank whatever energy and mechanism put me here in that way, and whatever duty I need to carry out, because once you know yourself, you are no problem. Nothing else, you are no problem. Nothing is insurmountable. So let me go on. So the insulin merges and it takes the sugar or glucagon out of the bloodstream and it parks it in cells. Process that for a little bit. That's its job. Now, you get these advice from the Americans and the American Standard Diet. So let me put it this way. The Standard American Diet. The acronym for the Standard American Diet is SAD. Standard American Diet. Not the acronym. The abbreviation is SAD. Okay? Process that for a little bit. That might be over your head, but you're settling just now. That's what we follow. Hear what they say. Eat 3 times a day. Snack in between. Number one, we ain't eating healthy in the first place. Here what I want to tell Mr. Johnson. I just told you, insulin is the problem. It's not how long you drive the car in that red, no. It's not the red, sorry, in the car, it's how long you drive it. But your problem really is what caused it to go in the red. I just explained that to you. So here's what problem. When you eat 3 meals a day and snack in between, that's 6 meals. Tell Mr. Johnson when the insulin coming down. I waited and tell me when that coming down. Because we full up with gut, we eat in a fat state, and insulin destroys us. And that is our problem. Once you see the body cannot process that because now cells become hypoxic, they pop. And they leak out everywhere. You know, people, a lady called me from Jamaica and said, Mr. Johnson, sweet lady, Mr. Johnson, what do you think I can do for fatty liver disease? I said, cure your diabetes. Cure diabetes. Can I call? Call your live. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, morning, brother. How are you?
Good, my brother. How you doing?
Morning.
Morning.
Well, I'm fine. You know, there's always joking, man. You know, there's always higher prayer.
Yeah, man.
What? No, my first thing, right? Doctors tell me I inherited sinus.
They say that again?
How does this? Doctors tell me I inherited sinus from my father because he used to always sniffle when he was young.
Right,
but
okay.
over the years, if it is too hot and it's high humidity,
right,
it triggers stuff.
Right.
If it's a little cold, and I stay there back unnecessarily, right? So if I get up and just put my foot on the ground, so I have a mat by my bed.
Right.
So my question to you, is that something, as I say, like again, because I do believe in this inheriting these things.
Right.
But how, again, somebody saying, what is your view on sinus?
Right.
And because it troubles me, my father, and my son and daughter.
Right. Great question.
So, and I want to leave with this now.
Yeah.
So are you saying, what we are saying now, and if we just listen, I made the point last week where you have a 5-liter pressure cooker, and if you put 5.5, obviously it will reach the brim or spill over. It will have a breathing space. So if the body, if you have the insulin, you need 60 milliliters of insulin. I use a layman term to break down something in the system, right? But you go and you eat something that spikes it to 120, so then the body does need the extra 60. So is that what you're saying is that extra 60 is what causes the damage?
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just say because but then we are being overindulgent in how we live and what we do,
right?
And as well as being stubborn.
Right. Very good. You're onto it. You're onto it, brother. Thank you so very much.
Again, these genes and them will say every gene and hormone in our body was created for a particular function. There's a gene that assists in the distribution of the insulin, and I will assume that there is a gene that also assists in the making of it. So we have to check ourselves. We have it's a tough job, but we have to do it.
Yes.
So lock and listen, brother.
Continue,
give someone else a call.
Yeah, my brother, your input is always appreciated and embraced, my brother. You have a lovely day, man. I appreciate it very much. You see, and that's what I'm saying. That brother, a very intelligent brother. This is the deal. Of course, it's too much. It's too much insulin, and the very thing that is there to save you will turn against you. Insulin is nice on one side and crazy on the other side if you don't know exactly what you're doing. And all this is, which is what I was saying before. When you go to our allopathic doctors, eat whatever you want, man, no problem. Go ahead, eat whatever you want, and we'll give you metformin, we'll give you Guybra, and just bring the blood sugar down. But hold on. So I'm driving my car. That is going to go in the red. My essence is telling me if I stop, the needle would recede and go back, the car would cool down. Sure, that's going to happen. Absolutely. How long you could do that for? Because that is exactly the mechanism of action that takes place with the metformin. You're doing exactly the same thing, and you going to them and say, well, my blood sugar is good this morning, and you think you're out of the woods. No, you're closer to a pine box than anything else with that type of attitude and the way in which you chose to deal with your diabetes. You're closer to a coffin, you're closer to your feet getting amputated, you're closer to retinopathy, which is you're going blind, you're closer to neuropathy, and you're closer to nephropathy. Neuropathy, your foot getting chopped off. Nephropathy, you're going on dialysis soon. That's what you're closer to, because that's the only thing going to happen once you continue on metformin, glybride, glucophage, diamicron, and the whole bunch of stuff. That's your portion. When someone has diabetes, let me say this going to sound brutal, but hear what? Mr. Johnson rather truth than safety and comfort. This going to sound brutal. So cock your ears. When someone develops diabetes, I don't care who you are, how intelligent you are, where you live, how educated you are, where you live geographically, what kind of car you drive, the house you live in. Once you have diabetes, you bought it wholesale. You have a certified copy for it. Here's why. Diabetes takes 10 to 15 years to manifest the way in which it manifests. And it's the same thing your parents used to do. Because remember, you don't have the metallation genes. You don't have the genes that will help you to refine a particular raw materials, and you continue to eat a particular food. Why everybody don't get diabetes? And then we go back to the twin. Why one of the twin develop it and one doesn't? So let me stop the foolish talk now, man. Let us be real. Let us be real with ourselves. Let us stop the inept conversation. Let us stop these sideways and imprecise languages that only good for our ego and our emotions, that this is what they say. And that is the quickest thing that people like to say. Well, they say, well, but who is they? Look how you look and how you feel. But tell me, but this is what they say? Wait, just a second. When you're going down in that hole, whether they put you on a pile of wood to burn, or you're going down in a 6-foot hole, who are you going there? Well, you ain't gonna know, so you ain't care. Well, maybe that is why you're talking like that. But I wish you would never go down that road. Sorry about that. I wish you never go down that road. But because... one second. You know what? Give me it, Carlos. I appreciate that very much. Give me that.
Are you dealing with high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, prostate issues, cancer, PCOS, fibroids, or low testosterone? These conditions do not just show up overnight. They are signs that your body is out of balance. At the healthiest corner on earth, my focus is restoring that balance naturally using time-tested herbs, personalized wellness plans, and nutritional guidance, helping your body return to homeostasis. The stage where healing begins. When your body is in balance, it can protect, repair, and renew itself. You don't have to wait until things get worse. You can take control of your health now. My goal is simple: to prevent chronic disease and support your body's natural ability to heal. Book your free consultation today. Give me a call at 736-3962 or 709-8450. Let's restore balance and prevent what's preventable, because your healing journey starts with one step, and I am here to walk it with you.
Carlos, thank you very much, my brother, man. Thank you. You're a good one, brother. A good one. All good things gonna come at you, man. You're such a humble young man. Continue on that path, brother, and just stay positive, because again, we don't really attract the thing in life that we think we are praying for and kneeling down and begging God for every day, whoever or what your concept of God are. We don't attract things that way. We attract things because of who we are. You can't fool the universe. You can't fool what make you. So if you want to say one thing and do the next, it ain't gonna happen. So continue on the road you're going there, brother, and all things will fall into place, man. All right? And this morning, my brother, I salute the divinity in you, my brother. Stay strong. I want to say a special shout out before I go on to Miss Lester Lewis. I think that is a very outspoken sister. She's always contributing. I admire that sister. You know, she's always very outspoken and put certain things out there. On TikTok, I happen to bump into some of her stuff, and she belongs to one of the group, the thing, whatever we just call that chat that I'm on, and always have a beautiful contribution to make. Miss Lester Lewis, again, I salute the divinity in you. Keep standing tall, sister. Okay, so here it is now. How long you think you can drive the car for before the engine is blew up? So the deal is, why not treat with what causing this to happen? When you go to them and they continue to give you, I told you already, your portion is going to be what I just explained to you. And I just gave you the brutal part of it. That when you get diabetes, you own it. You have a certified copy for it. You ask for it. Because the amount of warning that your body gave you, and I'm going to tell you this right now, Mr. Johnson, I am telling you, if you follow my discipline, I tell you already, me and no nice guy. I'm not nice. Mr. Johnson is not a nice guy. I'm a good man. And I take that on myself. I'm a good man. At the essence of my being, I'm a good man. Me and nice. Nice people say yes to everything. Nice people say no when they want to say yes. Nice people compromise all the time because they're afraid of what other people are going to say. Nice people are insecure people and nice people have a narcissistic quality towards it. That doesn't mean all of us don't have a narcissistic proclivity towards us, because all that we do is those who pretend that they don't have the narcissistic quality towards them. But I'm going to leave that right there. So here's my story. You eat in a fed state, because when you have 6 meals, insulin not going anywhere. And metabolically, I just explained to you what some of those dangers become. PCOS, fibroids, impotence, women can't get pregnant, high blood pressure, constant headache, toxicity, nephrons in the liver not working and the kidney not working anymore, nephropathy, neuropathy, retinopathy. You're going and get blind because you're not listening to what your biochemistry been telling you for years. Hear what you're listening to. I will continue to eat the things that put me in such a toxic, nasty state. And then I would go and take the illusion of inclusion by looking at my A1C. Your A1C means nothing when you're diabetic. It means nothing once you unshift that. You know when your A1C means? When you stop eating those crappy foods and you go on that journey in which Mr. Johnson could guide you. And here's the journey. Number 1, a shifting of your diet completely, because that's coming straight from your biochemistry. That is not the illusion of inclusion by bringing down no blood sugar. No. It's dealing with what caused the blood sugar to go up in the first place. What caused your blood sugar to spike. So here are the mechanism of action. Here are the 4 elements in which you abide by with Mr. Johnson. And I will get real crazy for that when you don't want to do it. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not very nice when I'm going to start to expatiate my mental faculties when I ask you to just be a little bit disciplined in what you want to do. Money is not my first option, because it isn't. Healing, that turns me on. Number 1, shift your diet. Number 2, raw materials, botanical herb, botanical nutrition, or nutritional medication. That is what it's called, herbs. Number 3, you exercise. And number 4, you pray, meditate to who or whatever your concept of God is. Some people have a problem because I put that last. Well, you could sit beside that and talk all day long. Because if you think when you do whatever you want to do, eat whatever you want to eat, and you call your pastor in and think he going and fix you, you're like a dangerous viewpoint of knowledge. And who don't like how others talk, that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm okay with that. I'm truly okay with that. I'm not okay with when something don't sit right with me. If I think I disrespect another human being, that will never sit right with me. But your opinion, I don't care nothing about that. Eat. Stop eating in a fat state. Hear what I'm saying to you? Stop eating in a fat state. Diabetes can be cured, go into remission, or reversed. Whatever political word you want to use, that is possible. 5 years ago, I read a peer-reviewed paper where we were 83% metabolically ill. The entire world, 83%. Because this is what diabetes, it's a metabolic disease. We are metabolically compromised. We're not well. We're not proper. And I was reading this about 5 years ago. Okay? I read one last month. We are 93% metabolically ill. 93%. And it all resides, it all hinges, it all predicated on the foods we eat in. Because as I said already, and I'm going to say it again, it's an assimilation we live in. We bringing our ancestral genome that we come from, that made us. We decide we're going to change that and think we're going to be okay. You want to change that with certain food that you want to do because of cultural belief and religious belief and all that. I mean, I have no problem with that. I was telling you earlier, I don't have no problem with that. But I'm just saying, watch where the cracks are. And don't cry. Let us be real. Everyone is entitled to serve whatever religion you want to serve. But you don't have the rights to mess up your biochemistry and think by that it's going to get fixed. You can't do that. You have to do things in conjunction. It's not one size don't fit all, eh? One size could never fit all. But if you realize something is hurting you, you realize you getting insecure was okay before. Why are you going down that road? And then you go by people who telling you, hey, you inherit this. How do you inherit something that you was never born with? We eat too much. We eat in a fat state. Insulin, the cells become hypoxic. They pop open. All these nasty agonals and cytokine 6 that ran out and infect our liver and mash up other cells. We become toxic because of those things. Now you put the liver under serious pressure to clean out this poison. And mind you, when the blood go through the liver has to filter out whatever vitamins it can filter out from those things, plus the poison. Because let me tell you something. You see that poison? If your liver ain't working, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take this serious. If that poison go in our bloodstream, in minutes you're going to get knocked out. That is why for some people they're going doctor, they don't know what's going on with you. That poison that you're dealing with there, if that leak out from your gut and enter the bloodstream, you're in a real problem. I'm telling you, in 2 minutes, you're going comatose. It's that deadly. So the liver is constantly under pressure. The titration of the sugar, the blood, the digestion, the liver doing all that. And we're treating it bad. We're treating it bad. We listen, you know, when I'm having talking about subject matter such as this one, I wish it can be interactive, because there are a lot of people with plenty doubts and they put their belief in certain things. But my thing is, if you put your belief in a particular person or in a relationship and the outcome is opposite of what you want, you stay in that relationship there? Well, me understand that, but I think the mechanism of action is absolutely the same. You understand? And another thing that correlates with reference to that run counter to that particular stuff is that we totally believe that we can heal our diabetes from metformin, glycerin, glucophage, and diamicron. We totally believe that. How on earth that makes sense to you? How? And this is why I'm here to educate you guys on this subject matter. I glad my brethren, because he made sure he called me yesterday and then he sent a reminder late last night again, and then he sent me another message this morning, and I had to respond to that message, because I tell you, this is a man I have a lot of respect for. He's a real gutsy man too, but I will never call his name there. Okay, I ain't gonna call his name, but that doctor, I have a lot of love and respect for him, and he asked me to do this again because the suffering he see going on within the confines or the circle of his family, where people telling you, oh, you inherit this, you can't cure this, you cannot cure what? What you talking about? What you can't cure? There are no such thing as an incurable disease, only incurable people, and that is true from a spiritual perspective. That place, what do you mean there is no cure? And then with that same token that you want to believe in the Bible, I ain't gonna get into that, no. I wouldn't get into that, because some people, when you're shifted by truth, you get very defensive. Very, very defensive, because now it shifts you from where you at to where you don't want to go. It shifts you from where you at to a place you think you can't survive. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing to do with me. What I'm saying again is true. Please, you are culpable, and I'm not saying again that the people who give us advice don't have a part to play. That isn't their fault too. What I'm saying, you are culpable because the mechanism of action, your result, the outcome is there. You must know when your biochemistry ain't working the way it ought to work, and you shift on something. But we always want to blame an outside entity that makes us feel good. Is the reason I just brought in the Bible thing. The Bible said, I'm going to leave that alone. We always want to blame an outside entity because that makes us feel good. But blaming the outside entity does not exempt you from your pathologies. It doesn't. And when we eat this food, this type of food, it messes up our biochemistry. Our insulin never comes down, and that's where our problem is. So your diabetes, the pathology of diabetes is insulin resistance. So let me punctuate that. The pathology of type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. I'm going to repeat it again. The pathology of type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. Now, metabolically, you are open for all kind of licks with pathogen, viruses, and bacteria because you won't be well. Your body cannot fight that. And for brothers, impotence. Watch the extended extended stomach. Watch the midsection of a lot of people out there. Like we changing hormonally. Let we be real. And to me, people okay with that. You okay with a young men walking around with a midsection that measure more than the actual height, and we okay with that? How can we be okay with that? Because of the type of foods we eat. And here what you're going to tell me. Here's the first thing you're going to tell me. Eating healthy is expensive. Well, here, we'll try sickness. Let me see which one more expensive. Because you see, again, those kind of imprecise language don't sit well with me. Because there are other things you can sacrifice. There are other things you can make a very conscious effort with and be disciplined enough. Leave that alone and optimize your structure and function the way God and nature intended it to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been very loquacious thus far. The time is almost there. The word loquacious means talkative. Been doing that quite a lot, but I hope within that somebody can extrapolate something that is going to help them. It's not everything I wanted to say this morning. I said because I realize, you see, there's a certain subject matter in my head, and if I bring that out, it will link to something else. This is why I like to answer a question, you know, from this standpoint. And I hope that whatever information I brought this morning can be of some sort of help to anyone out there. And I'm saying this to you. If you want, I don't have a problem with it. If you want a diet sheet, I have a modified diet sheet. I would send it WhatsApp to you. What I need to do is get it print out, and I will get that. And if you want, you can pick one up on my office. I don't have any now because all finished. But if you have a WhatsApp and you want one of my diet sheet, don't get crazy with because you're going to see RJ Research Jumbie on it, and you're going to see my correct name. I contextualize the word Jumbie, and many of us have a problem with that, but that comes from the colonial mindset of thinking. I won't get into that either, but that's it. If you want one of my modified sheet because you don't eat from that, anything on that sheet you stay away from, you can give me a WhatsApp thing and I will just WhatsApp it for you, no problem. Carlos, how much time I left in, my brother? All right, cool. Right, and I would surely WhatsApp it for you. And I hope that whatever information I bring this morning, again, if you have a question for me, don't hesitate. I'll do my best. I don't always return phone calls the same time, but I return everybody phone calls eventually, maybe the next day after I go through it, because sometimes the appointment I have and stuff like that. So this is your boy, Mr. Johnson. I'm located at 92 East Drive in Champlain, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth. And this is my position. My position is to help you with any type of chronic diseases. Give the body what it needs, the body will go to war for you. The immune system will go to war for you. Your dendritic cells and your T cells will go to war for you, because we have trillions of those cells in the body. When some don't work, they express themselves differently. It depends on where the endothelium of the cell is. From your cytoplasma, it will express itself differently. You might have knee problem, they tell you it's arthritis. No, it's not. But we go talk about that. Call me, 736-3962 or 709-8450. Again, once again, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson. Your consultation is absolutely free. I don't charge consultation fee. It's free. So once again, until next week, by the mercy of thy creator, this is your boy, Mr. Johnson, aka RJ. Megan.
Presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert IWER Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Champlain, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of The Street 919 FM.
Are you searching for answers to life's questions? Those things that disturb and concern you the most? Why all the wickedness? Why the suffering in the world? Will it end? Who is responsible? Well, if so, join us right here on The Street 91.9 FM every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. with Brother Samuel Gooding and Roland White, where we open the Bible and find answers to all these things and more. For it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
we've tried to describe KFC messy tenders in a more professional manner, but we can't because they're so trippin' awesome. That's right. We guarantee you lose yourself in the sauce.
The saucy flavor. And the saucy goodness.
Do you mind?
Sorry.
Get a 2, 3, 5, or 8-piece messy tender box with fries dunked in mambo sauce to make those tenders drip with even more KFC goodness.
This is so trippin' awesome.
Exactly. Taste the dunked difference of KFC messy tenders today. Check our socials or in-store for the dunked goodness. KFC, finger dripping, licking good.
No cap. KFC messy tenders come already. Dunk it in mambo sauce. Listen straight out the box. Grab 2 for $22.95, 3 for $32.95, or 5 for $49.95. Want to go real messy? Double the bucket. 8 dunked tenders plus 1 bucket of fries for only $104. And if you extra saucy, add more mambo for just $5. KFC, it's finger drippin'. Finger licking good.
Pay $1 down on higher purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
Link up for a free phone. This September, sign up for the Flow Link Up More plan and get 1 gig lighting fast speed, 164 TV channels, and streaming for just $645 a month. Plus, walk away with a free Samsung phone. Yes, free. That's more speed, more entertainment, and more value just for you. But hurry, this deal ends September 30th. Visit us in store for more details. We keep your rhythm flowing.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500